Quiet opening half for Marshawn Lynch. He only had 2 carries in the entire first half for a total of 8 yards. Harris from the 1-yard line. And a good return up to the 27. Let's check in downstairs with Carissa Thompson.
Well, Jason Garrett, a happy man running into the locker room. Of course, that second quarter, I asked him how he was able to get so much stuff underneath. He said Seattle continues to play that single high safety over the top, so those checkdowns were wide open. The score for him, though, is 0-0. On the other side, Pete Carroll, I asked about his team's energy. He said it's hard to have energy if we're not on the field. Of course, not even picking up a first down in the second quarter. Good news for them, though, you guys, they get Bobby Wagner back.
That's real good news. First down, Murray. And that'll be a gain of 7 to begin the second half.
Well, we've seen repeatedly now the Cowboys, when they run the ball and try to get outside, they do a good job here. As you see, Ron Leary, the left guard, Zach Martin, they come out, and then there's nobody there on the edge, and it creates a nice running lane for DeMarco Murray. A lot of success, again, running the ball on first down.
Murray again, and very close to a first down. Again, we get back to the only team that's able to beat the Seahawks so far this year. And that was San Diego when they held the ball for 42 minutes, and Dallas is on that kind of pace right now.
Well, yeah, and Dallas was outstanding converting on third down. As you see, 9 opportunities, 7 times they converted. They weren't all third and short like they're facing here. Some of those were third and long, and yet they still picked them up.
Especially that big 3rd and 14 on the go-ahead touchdown drive. 3rd and inches, and they'll move the chains again, giving it to Murray.
Well, this is a big possession for this Seattle defense. The way that they were dominated there in the first half, down by 7. Dallas opens up the second half here with the ball. They need to make a statement and make a stop and get off the field and give the ball back to their offense.
Coming down from the safety spot is Chancellor to drop him behind the line of scrimmage. We told you Seattle, the #1 rush defense in the NFL, allowing 62 yards on average per game. And the Cowboys already up over 100. Bryant looking for a penalty, and he'll get it. It looked like Sherman tried to pull him from behind.
There was definitely a grab at this one. The previous penalty.
25 defense. First down, spot of the foul.
The previous penalty on Richard Sherman, didn't think there was a call, but this one had his hands on his back. Looked like there was even a pull of the jersey as Des Bryant was trying to work back to the football. That's a good matchup between those two guys.
A 13-yard penalty and an automatic first down. Murray on the sweep. Runs into Bobby Wagner.
Well, you just look at what Dallas is doing. That time you got Dwayne Harris, wide receiver. He's out there making key blocks. And so the toughness of this football team certainly increased. When you start running the football and you're physical in your play, that permeates within the entire team. It's been interesting to see them dominate this game the way they have.
Ooh, spot on there. Jackson Romo in trouble, and all the way back to the 45-yard line. That's the first major negative play on offense in this game for Dallas.
Yeah, we've seen Romo at times have to move around within the pocket, so he does on this play. This one, he just kind of loses his footing more than anything when he's trying to cut back into the pocket to try to make a play. We'll see if Seattle can make a stop here on 3rd and 17.
Well, remember, they couldn't stop him 3rd and 14 on that drive just prior to the first half. Murray on the screen. Boy, he got dangerously close for Seahawk fans for that first down. Coming up, it appears 3 yards short.
Hey, the guy who's playing a nice game today is Ronald Leary, their left guard. A number of times we've seen him out leading the ball carrier in the run game. This time he leads the way within the screen game. He's done a heck of a job. He's sandwiched between those 2 first-round picks, Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick, and did a nice job last week as well against J.J. Watt at times. But Seattle at least forces a punt.
Last time Dallas punted, it was blocked. Now Jones, very short, and a fair catch at the 10. Dallas leads by 7. Russell Wilson gets the ball for the first time in his second stanza. Day after tomorrow, the EMP Museum here in Seattle will open the We Are 12, the Seahawks and the road to victory. We're very excited about that here in Seattle. And they're hoping this offense can get something, anything going to begin this 3rd quarter. I mean, the 2 big weapons along with the quarterback Wilson, of course, are Marshawn Lynch and Percy Harvin. Very quiet, 6 total yards. Back-to-back carries for Lynch and a first down and more. All the way to the 45-yard line.
Well, they finally get an opening for Marshawn Lynch. He does a heck of a job, one, breaking the tackle, and then he's one-on-one on the safety, and that's some of the elusiveness that I talked about. J.J. Wilcox with a chance to try to make a tackle. He makes him miss. Gets more out of that run, but finally a break up front for that offensive line.
Their first down since there was 12 minutes left in the first quarter. Turbin in for Lynch, carries up to midfield.
Well, last week when Dallas had Houston down and they needed to get back into that ball game, they started handing it off to Arian Foster, and he ended up with a heck of a day. Had over 150 yards rushing, and they hadn't been able to get anything going. But if Seattle is able to convert on some of these 3rd downs and wear the defense down with Marshawn Lynch, some things will start to break. And that's been an area defensively where the Cowboys have been vulnerable this year.
That's Harvin in the backfield next to Wilson. Spins out of a tackle, but able to stay with it and drag him down was Tyrone Crawford. It has really been a very quiet year for Harvin. We mentioned last week he scored 3 touchdowns, all of them called back on penalties. But Harvin coming into this game only had 133 receiving yards so far this season. The only big play he's had was that 52-yard run against San Diego when it should have been overturned when he stepped out of bounds. Blitz coming. Batted into the air and incomplete. So the Seahawks will punt it away.
Well, Henry Melton is able to get a hand on it. The Cowboys, what they like to do, Rod Marinelli, they'll show pressure. Sometimes they drop out. This time they show it, but they bring it off the edge, and then they drop off with the zone blitz the opposite way. And he's not the one who gets a hand on it. Henry Melton comes right up the middle He's able to deflect that pass. And another great job on third down by Dallas getting off the field.
Ryan has been so good pinning teams inside the 20. And the ball is loose after the fair catch was called for by Harris.
It looked like Harris may have gotten back on it, but at the bottom of this pile, a lot of things are taking place, and it's just who comes out with it. Yeah, Pierre Lewis, he has it right there in his hand, right here.
And it is Seattle football. Second big special teams play. And both of them have been turned in by the Seahawks.
How about that? Dwayne Harris is going to just fair catch the punt, unable to secure it, and an offense for Seattle that just really has not been able to do anything is set up with great field position.
Kevin Pierre Lewis recovered the fumble.
The officials, they were looking around there in the pile to see where the ball was. Pierre Lewis saying, hey, I got it.
So now a break for the Seahawks. Can they take advantage? Garvin inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
We were talking about Harbin a little bit earlier. He attracts a lot of attention. You know, they put him in the backfield. They try to come up with some creative ways to get him the ball. He's an explosive guy, but they've got a lot of guys that can really run and get down the field. But, you know, none of them have really caught a lot of passes, or at least a lot of yards with the passes they've caught.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson's going to be reading Jeremy Mincy, the end of the line guy, and then Luke Wilson is going to provide the key block. As soon as he collapses, that tells Wilson he can keep the ball, and then it's just a matter of whether or not he can get on the edge. But Luke Wilson on a good block on Justin Durant. That's a great job by Seattle with excellent field position, being able to capitalize to tie this game up.
You talk about offense, you talk about defense. Frequently you overlook special teams. And right now, special teams, the only reason Seattle's in this game. After the muff punt, Wilson making a play. We're knotted at 17. Russell Wilson finding the end zone for the second time, second straight week, in fact. Seahawks have blocked a punt. They went for a touchdown. And then a bump block on the return by Harris, leading to a second score. Harris with a hand on the football, and he's tackled at the 18-yard line. Wilson and the Seahawks needing something to get excited about. It looked like they were having that drive come to an end, but took advantage of the Harris muff. Crowd back in it. We're tied at 17, 6:13 to play in the third quarter. Cowboys with a first down. They hand it off to DeMarco Murray. He's dropped for a 2-yard loss by K.J. Wright.
You know, Seattle really doesn't change what they're doing defensively, regardless of who's on the field or not on the field. And, of course, Byron Maxwell went down. But they're still asking these corners to play one-on-one on the outside. Now, Richard Sherman, we have seen him flop sides, but he has not always gone with Dez Bryant. However, he did on the first down play, and he's on him once again here on second down. We'll see if he continues to shadow Bryant.
Blitz coming. Murray picked up by Sherman. It's up to the 22-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Cowboys.
It's a great job by Richard Sherman as a cover corner to come up and make a play. And he absorbed a big part of that blow. But as one of the elite corners in this league that covers people, to come up and take him on like he just did, that's impressive.
Snap is mishandled, and it looks like Hill is at the bottom of the pile with the ball, but we wait. Shoving to the right, possession to the left.
Well, Tony Romo was trying to signal out to the receivers, wanting to change the route, and Travis Frederick snapped the ball and he wasn't ready.
And it was Hill who comes away with the football.
You know, you see, I talked earlier that there were going to be a variety of silent snaps now, or silent counts. Now, earlier,
it looks like some punching going on at the bottom of that pile.
Well, Tony Romo, he gives Frederick the foot. I think Travis Frederick thought that meant then that he was ready to have the ball snapped. Romo then tries to signal out to the receivers to change the route they were on, and just a miscommunication of what they were doing.
Recovery by Seattle, 1st down.
Another costly mistake by this Cowboys team. Take a look at what happened here, Tom, and he gave the foot there. And then Frederick put his head back down. And as he's trying to signal out to the receivers, the ball snapped.
Harris can't handle the punt after the Cowboys defense had stopped the Seahawks on their first possession of this second half. It led to a touchdown, and now this.
Yeah, you see him raise his foot there, and that's where the confusion came in with Travis Frederick and Jordan Hill and Tony Romo fighting for the ball. Romo's going to have a hard time getting it away from him.
So when you're on the road, walk us through. We see it every quarterback in the league pick their foot up. When you do it the first time, it's saying to your center what?
Well, sometimes it means, hey, I'm ready for the ball. They'll count. They'll snap it maybe on the second, they'll go 1001, 1002, snap the ball. Sometimes they give a foot. It's a dummy signal. They come back. They're going to lift the leg twice. That's why they change it up so that the defense doesn't get a beat on always knowing when the ball is going to be snapped. That was just a miscommunication between quarterback and center.
Wilson nearly intercepted by Wilbur. Wilson's only thrown 1 interception all year long, and lucky that wasn't number 2.
Yeah, Kyle Wilbur was in a great position to make a play on this ball. Anthony Spencer applies the pressure. Wilson trying to get the ball out to avoid the sack. Almost costly because there was nobody in front of Kyle Wilbur. This will be big if Dallas is able to stop Seattle here to just 3 points.
And another penalty against the Seattle offensive lineman.
All-star, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Okun had 3 of the 7 penalties against the Seattle offensive line Monday night at D.C. Still trying to come all the way back from surgery on his toe.
Yeah, he is not back 100%, but whether he's physically at full strength or not, those pre-snap penalties are unacceptable.
3rd and 8 becomes 3rd and 13. And that is Ricardo Lockett to the 15-yard line, but that's short of a 1st down. And out comes Stephen Hauschka for a field goal try to snap this 17-all tie. And Jason Garrett very excited about his defensive stand there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the best that Dallas could have hoped for. Giving the ball to Seattle where they did to come out of this possession just giving up 3 points. That's an outstanding job by this defense.
33-yard field goal try. Seattle back in front. Miscommunication between quarterback and center leads to a Dallas turnover. And the Seahawks have the lead. 20-17 with 3:20 to play here in the third quarter. Seattle taking advantage on special teams and then a rare Dallas turnover. Rare since the season opener. You were there for that one, Troy Aikman, when Cowboys turned it over 4 times, falling behind early and losing to the 49ers, their only loss of the year. And Harris unable for a second straight time to get it to the 20. We'll see if Dallas can regroup on offense. 25 years ago today, the Herschel Walker trade, engineered by Jimmy Johnson. Largest player trade in the history of the league. 18 players and draft picks. Herschel Walker to Minnesota. Emmitt Smith, Alvin Harper, Russell Maryland, all part of the draft picks that came the other way. That was the first season of ownership by Jerry Jones. He had fired legendary Tom Landry. Team had started the year 0-5. Here's first down, looking for Terrence Williams, and he's got it all the way to the 35-yard line. And he beat Marcus Burley. So the first big, long pass completion, and now a flag comes in late after.
After the catch, delay of game, number 83 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
You just kind of wondered when you looked at this as to when they were going to take a shot against Marcus Burley. We've seen Richard Sherman now in this second half go with Des Bryant, and so Marcus Burley is on Terrence Williams, and he's a guy that has some speed. He has big play capability. A nice job there on a big game. I'm not so sure I like the call. It didn't seem like much of a spike to me or a delay of game, but that's what the call was.
All right, so it's spotted in the 39. A first down, Cowboys trailing by 3. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. All right, Troy, I want to go back. You had just been drafted. You guys won, what, 1 game that first year. And all of a sudden you make that deal. Take us back to what it was like in the locker room. You had played 5 games already that season.
Well, Herschel was the only legitimate player we had on our team. That's why we were able to trade him and get what we got for him. I know Jerry and Jimmy have been arguing for the last 25 years as to whose idea that was to make the trade. Heck, I'll take credit for it if that's what it takes. But there's no question that that trade allowed us to go on and do what we were able to do in such a short period of time.
Winning 3 Super Bowls. There's so many of the core players coming out of that deal. They lay it off to Tyler Klutz. That's the first time he's touched the football as a receiver this year. And look who dropped into coverage. That's Michael Bennett.
He's a terrific player. He lines up all across the board and is just an outstanding football player for this team.
So now big third down for the Cowboys, who had a 17-10 lead, and that has vanished. Incomplete with an eye on Beasley.
Well, this time they're able to get the inside pressure on Romo. Right over Ron Leary is where they come. And they're able to get into the face of Romo so he can't step into that throw and deliver an accurate ball. Beasley trying to work the middle.
This is going to be a long field goal try, but if there's a guy that has a leg to do it, it is Dan Bailey.
Well, they're setting Seattle up with great field position. If he misses, one of the reasons they're going for it is their defense been so good.
Well, look at this guy. He is something. He is something. 56 yards. He had hit 30 a row until the end of regulation, wound up winning it last week, and ties it here in the third quarter today. Career-long 56-yarder from Dan Bailey, who today has become the most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL. He needed one more field goal try to qualify, and he's perfect today.
What a great weapon when you got a guy that you have that kind of confidence to be able to make field goals from 50-plus yards. Takes a lot of pressure off an offense.
Percy Harvin's going to bring it out. And he is upended at the 15-yard line by Tyler Patman. We're tied at 20 in the third. Annual screening saves lives. Help finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever A Crucial Catch Day on October the 25th. We are tied for the third time today. On first down, Lynch stood up by Rolando McClain. That's the first time we've called his name today. What a story he has been for the Cowboys. Former #1 pick by the Oakland Raiders, spent 3 years there, was cut by Oakland, signed by Baltimore, decided to retire. Cowboys took a flyer, made a trade to get him. He's had a number of off-the-field incidents which led to some trouble for him, but appears to have everything in order now and playing solid football for the Cowboys.
He has played well, Tom, and they've needed him. You know, there was a huge void defensively when Sean Lee went down. He's filled in beautifully.
Fake it one way, come back the other way. And that did not fool Dallas. J.J. Wilcox with 11 seconds now remaining here in the third quarter and a third down for Seattle.
How about when we talked to Rod Marinelli yesterday, and he talked about J.J. Wilcox and the development of him from last year as a rookie to this season. He is a physical player.
That'll be the final play of the quarter. We're tied at 20. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these.